Thanks for joining us here on 23 ABC News. I'm Veronica Morley, your senior reporter. Bakersfield City Manager Christian Clegg recommended earlier this week putting a pause on the proposed sewage rate increase. Now, while the city is mulling over its future options, we got a behind-the-scenes look at one of the wastewater facilities that's in need of repairs. As you can see behind me, this trickling filter is one of the areas they're looking to improve. You can see two of the arms are working at full capacity, while two of them are not. If you had to estimate now the amount of dire repairs that really need attention, what price tag would you maybe put to that?
So that's a difficult answer. Simply, and I'll give you my answer, but I think the difficulty is if we're really looking to the city, the city growing and expanding, we also have to kind of balance it out with how much money is worth spending now if we know that in 8 years it's not going to meet the demand that we have.
Wastewater manager Yvette Roldan is taking us through the treatment plant on Plans Road, one of the facilities the city was hoping to improve through a nearly 300% increase on sewer rates. But after receiving immense blowback from the community, the city is reconsidering its options.
We could have done better as a city. We could have done better to do more public outreach. We were moving quickly because as we identified the solid analysis of the problem, we wanted to quickly raise the awareness.
Roldan said going as far back as 2018, there have been at least 2 incidents she's aware of that were cause for concern. While they were able to fix those situations under emergency repairs,
those kind of alerted us to if this is the level of wear and tear that we're seeing with these items, which we thought should have been in better condition, we need to start really looking at something substantial to be done in the next 5, 6, 7, 8 years.
One of the issues they face is the inability to do regular maintenance in certain areas because the facility operates 24/7, making it hard to get eyes on lines. This was the case with a 60-inch pipe that connected 2 of their structures.
There were sections of that top of that pipe that were completely missing. Once we pressure washed the pipe, it was literally dirt on the top, on the crown of it. So that was a change order that had to happen. It was done under an emergency.
Roldan said bypassing a line can cost a few $100,000, which is why they usually won't do it until something forces their hand. The facility, designed for 25 million gallons per day, is currently handling around 12 million. Roldan said water conservation has changed the characteristics of the wastewater.
It is a lot heavier in solids.
And it's not just corrosion or outdated equipment. Roldan said replacing everything could cost up to 150 to 200 million, but with population growth, the need for another treatment facility also arises.
Yeah, it's growing so much that we really do need to plan for the next 30 plus years.
Bakersfield City Manager Christian Clegg explaining the predicament the city finds themselves in.
What was presented to the public was the immediate huge increase to $950. There are other options that we could pursue that can address the problem, that don't have that big of an increase, that does allow us to scale it up over time.
Earlier in the week, Bakersfield City Councilman Bob Smith speculated over reasons why the money hadn't been gradually put aside over the years, given the facility was built in 1958.
40 years old in the late 80s, and at that time, in the early 90s, that's probably when money should have started being put away to either replace or do big repairs. You had the recession throughout the 90s in California, and then the Great Recession in 2008, and then it just kept getting put off and nothing ever happened.
Clegg said even if they scale back the rate increase, it would still be a significant raise. Roldan said if she had to pick one area to focus on, it would be their trickling filters, which are used to remove the organic matter from wastewater. Replacing one could be hundreds of thousands of dollars. And Roldan said at this point, she'd take anything.
At the very least, some type of activated sludge incorporated into trickling filter.
And Bakersfield City Manager Christian Clegg said he's hoping the city will revisit their options again in about 6 months. In Bakersfield, I'm Veronica Morley, your senior reporter.